everybody, this is Harry Jacobs and I am the North of 60 Gamer, and this is the North of 60 Gaming channel, and welcome! As you know, I talked about it, it is summer now in the Northwest Territories. The weather is at least in the teens anyway. While everybody's enjoying south 25, 30 degree Celsius weather, we're enjoying mid-teens. For anybody who's watching that channel, that's usually in the 55 to 60 degree range as opposed to 75 and 80 degrees in our friends in Toronto and other areas. But today, we're going to do a quick one. Came in the door lately. This is about a month's worth of stuff that's come in, and I've just been sitting on it. I have done a few videos, not of all of the games, just one down at the bottom there. But I thought I'd just show you kind of what's come in my door. Now, if you recall, I am not paid by anybody. So what you're seeing is my collection. I am not toting that these games are great or not. I'm just saying, hey, these came in because they're in my collection. Usually if I get something in my collection, there's a specific reason why I've purchased some of it. Some of that we'll share today. I really want to keep this short and tight and not ramble too much, because I like to ramble. But it's supposed to be semi-informative. But so what has come into my office or into my house? So here's the big one. The expansion for Tehukan, the expansion period, and I butchered that, I'm sure. Anybody who's been anywhere knows that this game came out a couple years ago. It is a wonderful game. It is a tile-laying, worker placement, dice manipulation, empire decorating game, and it is fabulous. And there's been at least one or two expansions. I think this might be the second or third expansion. Wow, I can't even keep up with expansions. Basically, being a completionist, this is the purchase because it's an expansion. I do have to get this back to the table. But COVID, I don't have a club to go to. So there's nowhere to play games. But I purchased this because mainly it's an expansion. And I do enjoy this game. And hopefully I will get it to the table eventually again. Now I'm just going to put that onto the floor. Next up, Arkham Horror. Now this is the new expansion. This is number 3, Secrets of the Order. Now I don't know what it actually is going to give us. It's going to cross the threshold. Looks like we've got some new stuff. Oh, we've got probably some new heroes. There we are. 5 map tiles, 4 investigations, 3 scenarios, 258 cards, 23. This is a pretty big expansion for those who are playing Arkham Horror, the 3rd edition. I don't really call it a 3rd edition. I call it Arkham Horror Light. This is not the same game as Arkham Horror or Eldritch Horror. The Arkham Horror I'm referring to, of course, is the 2nd edition. I think this one is better. There are people that will say, oh, no, it's not. But I enjoy the narrative. I enjoy the play. You lose faster. It's not a 4-hour game, though it could be. They're saying 2 to 3 hours. That's probably right. 1 to 6. I solo this with usually three investigators. I find that gives you the cross-functionality of the investigators. I still lose. I'm looking forward to seeing what Arkham Horror, the expansion, the Secrets of the Order, brings to the game. Hopefully it's going to bring some new cards, certainly, some new play, new scenarios, new Elder Gods, perhaps. But maybe I'll get this to the table and do a playthrough, or at least unboxing to show you what's new. Now, this is not a new game. I am a fool for games that are Cthulhu-based.
How did H.P. Lovecraft pronounce this word? Well, the short answer is Cthulhu.
If you watched my coffee and Kickstarter, at the beginning of my Kickstarter, I had a little bit on the Cthulhu and how to choose a Cthulhu game that's just right for you. I have played the Steam app, so I decided to jump in with Elder Sign. I have not played it. It's created by Richard Lonius and Kevin Wilson. This is an FFG game. I don't know if it's being reprinted. My local gaming store has kind of like flittered out of everything, and he hasn't replaced it. I did pick up a number of expansions. They're sitting out there in a box. I am not unboxing that here. I am missing one expansion. I'm gonna sort that out. But I want to get into this. I've played the app. I got a big vacation coming up. This might be a game that I would take on vacation with me. Who knows? Let me know if it's a good vacation game. It's a dice chucking, matching symbols, stopping the monsters in different areas. I haven't played it. I'm hoping to get to it. Okay. Now we'll just put that one here. Here's one. I picked it up used. Actually, Elder Signs I picked up used too. I've always wanted to try these Dungeon and Dragon games. This was the first. I think it came out in 2012 by Avalon Hill. Of course, this all is owned by Wizards of the Coast and ultimately Hasbro. It is a simplistic adventure game. There's 12 different scenarios. I haven't explored it. I did watch a quick video. I am so looking forward to trying it because it's just of an interest. I think with some of the things that are coming on, and I like it teaching games, this is a really good sort of starter and introduction to some of the mechanics of just some of the base games of checking dice, checking your armor against the hit die, and I think it's going to be a great adventure. I am definitely going to put this in front of the camera. I'm hoping to get that done this week. Things are happening, guys. I can't talk about all kinds of things, but this definitely is new to my collection, though it is not a new game. Here's one. Let's get rid of the dungeons. Oh my God, I'm gonna have issues here. Maybe I'm gonna have a hernia, but I already have one of those. This is Celbria, the card game. This has 65 different emotions to discover. You can see the back here. I do have the big deluxe version and a new expansion. The problem with this game, of course, is it not Celbria, the card game. The big game is a monster. Oh my God, it is a beautiful game. Just a monster to play. I'm hoping this offers something a little bit like it, but less arduous. The setup of the big game, the play of the big game. If you're looking for complexity comparison, if you've played Feudum and understand Feudum, you probably can play Celbria. Feudum, I still say, is one of the hardest games I ever had to wrap my head around. I have played it solo a few times. I've played it and got it to the table, and people just look at you like, oh my God. So let's hope the card game is lighter. It is a two-player game. Now, I know I am mainly a solo player, hence Castle, Elder Scrolls, Arkham Horror. Most of these games all have solo modes, but my wife and I will play. And I think this one will be a good one for us to play. Again, a good candidate for my vacation that's coming up next year to the Mediterranean and the Greek islands. We're going on a cruise. Yes, I know it's COVID, folks, but hopefully our COVID will be less risk. And the isolations and the hotels are all going to go away. The Canadian government just raised the fine. It's like $5,000 if you don't go to quarantine. If you go to these quarantine hotels, I have heard it is absolutely horrible. They charge you $600 a night. They're basically giving you peanut butter sandwiches, bologna sandwiches, and just junk for food, and you're literally stuck in a room for 8 days to get a test and get out. And if you get your test results, apparently there's been stories where people have gone and got a test, because you get tested when you get off the airplane. Get your test results back the next day. You leave. They don't refund the portion of the money that does not go. That should come back to you. This is just a huge money grab by maybe the hotels and my government. And I am sorry that editorial got in here. But you know what? It is what it is, folks. You all have your own horror stories of COVID, I am sure. Please put them in the comments, but be kind. Here's one. I have been interested in this game for a while. First Light. And sorry for the glare, I think I've left the overhead light on. Circadians First Light. This has had a great review, not only for multiplayer, but a lot of attention for solo player. Renegade Games makes some of my favorite games So I jumped in. Now, I don't, you can see player screens. Not a big fan of player screens, but I bought it for the solo play. The solo play I've heard really good things about, and eventually I will play it with other people. But I did buy it for a solo play. You can see the small footprint, though I think it's going to get bigger if you look at this screen or the back of the box. I think it's a table hog. The box itself I would consider taking on vacation, but if you've ever been to a cruise ship, finding a place to play where a table is big enough that where it's quiet. Now we did play. Oh yeah, Terraforming Mars. Jeez, blanking out here. I'll take all that out. Terraforming Mars, I won. It took up a pretty good table, but we had a blast playing it on the ship. And I was glad that they had brought it. I had brought a couple smaller games to play. Usually I bring one of the Tiny Epics games and a couple card games. I don't want to take up my whole suitcase with a large amount of games. We are limited to what we can take. And so this might be a candidate, but I don't think it will be. I think I'm going to stick to games that are a little more filler-like. But that is Circadian's first light. Next up, you can see it. Well, I kind of went all in. Partly because if anybody has lived on YouTube, with Benedict Cumberbatch doing a Legend of Drizzt, cartoonish type of reading, it was amazing, and I have an interest. It does fit in with the D&D games that have come out, and I think there's 5 or 6 games in that series. I love Drizzt, the Panther. I've loved the books. I think this is going to be, I've heard this is a really good game. This came out in 2011, so I think this must have been one right after, perhaps after Castle Ravenloft. I don't want to turn Castle Ravenloft upside down because I don't want to lose the contents that might be not as sordid as it could be. But this is in the same vein of going out, hitting monsters, taking encounters, and fighting your way through what looks like a wilderness or a dungeon. Hopefully we have some regular characters like Catabray, perhaps. Oh, yep, there she is, right there. Wolfguard. So, Hammerbelly or whatever his name. Oh, no, it's not Hammerbelly. Whatever his name is, the little dwarfy hobby guy. Wow, I'm trying to do this fast, guys. My brain is working not as fast as my mouth, so my brain is not catching up. And I'm almost dancing here. Can't look like dancing. Anyway, this is meant to be fast. I'm out of breath. Whew. Just came in from walking dogs. If you've seen my channel, I have put up part 1 and part 2, Shadow Rift. This is fairly new. I just love deck builders. This is a deck builder, and so I did add this to my collection. I do have 1 expansion in there. I have another expansion coming. This is the 2nd edition. I'm not going to go into it other than it's a deck builder. If you want to watch how I feel about it, go to the final thoughts in part 2, and take a look at it. Though I don't think it holds up to Thunderstone Quest as a deck builder against monsters. I think Thunderstone Quest is probably a bit easier. There's a lot of finicky shuffling and moving things around, and yeah, it's a bit more complicated. I find it a little bit more complex than I really want it to be. Not really complex, just fiddly. Where if we take it to the other end of the scale, like Draconis, that might be a little bit simpler. But based on a static market deck, and we have multiple decks and villagers and travelers, good game. I think I could have played it better, but watch the videos on that. I should say I am on full moratorium for game buying for at least a month. We've had a couple of car repairs and things, so there's not money in the budget this month really to buy any games. Maybe a Kickstarter that finishes out in July, but I have made a big promise to my wife that I am not buying a game this month other than what was previously coming in from Kickstarters from last year, and maybe an order or 2 from May. But other than that, there is no buying. Some of these have been sitting on my table ready to go for 2 or 3 weeks. Steampunk, I think, is about 6 weeks ago. So these games have been, some of these games I've had, I've just not got to them. But I'd like to do a sort of a regular type of presentation of sort of what's coming into my collection. Again, None of this is given to me. These are my games. I paid for these games, therefore I'm entitled to my opinion, as you are entitled to your opinion, and you can put them down in the comments. Sins Collector. This is a strange deck builder by Ludo Studio. There's 3 different decks. It is mainly a 2-player game, though you can play 1 to 6 with more decks. It's very, very simple to play. You play a card. There's like a defense and an offense. You buy cards. And I'm not quite sure. I haven't wrapped my head around it. I've watched videos of it. I'm not really sure if it really works. I'm going to have to play the solo mode. I haven't got to it yet. I plan to do one. There is one solo video out put out by the publisher. And it's up, and maybe I'll link that into the description. I have talked to him, but this is my game, so I'm going to play it. I don't know if the solo game works that well. I don't even know if the 2-player game works that well. I've watched some videos, and it seems lacking for a deck builder, but it is supposed to be a very quick take that game between 2 players. There is some hidden stuff to it, which I don't know if I really like. Well, I'm going to give you a bunch of hidden stuff, and then we're going to reveal them. And if I make a certain threshold that I may not know, I may be able to give you a point of dominance or not. So there is a bit of a strange mechanic. The second they have just finished their, or it's going on right now. The second expansion, or the expansions, look like it's expanding the game a little bit more, and I think it is probably going to be needed. More to come on that if I get it to the table in the next week or so. Oh, this one, another Kickstarter. Oh, I love this game. Roxley Games. I do have Steampunk Rally. This is Steampunk Rally Fusion, a little more futuristic. You can see I've got some promo cards here. There are, if you've never played this game, it is a race game. Things happen. Your machines blow apart. They're driven by dice that do different things. You build your machine. Parts throw apart, you do throw obstacles at people, and this is one of the, and you can play 6 players, and it's like simultaneous. Actually, it's to 8. So you can have 8 player. A lot of it is you draft, and then you do a whole big dice phase, and it happens all simultaneous, and it's like 8 people going, and then doing stuff, and then things blow apart, and then you look at the map and go, oh, I'm here. And you're going like, how did you get here? Well, so sometimes when you play this game up front and you're learning, you take it turn by turn by turn. But as soon as you get past the first turn or 2, you really want to get to that simultaneous work. This is Steampunk Rally. It is a fun game. There's a ton of dice in here, tons of cards. Here's a game that I'm interested in. Again, mainly solo, but I don't always buy solo. Steampunk Rally Fusion does not have a solo mode. Neither does Beyond the Sun, which kind of is a surprise because it would probably lend itself to an automa. This I purchased because of the tech tree. Everybody says this has a fantastic tech tree. So we're going to put that to the test at some point when I can play a game with a friend. I'm pouting. But anyway, we'll turn it to the back. There is this tech tree, and then you do things out in space. And actually, the price of this game for what's in it and what I've seen in it, what I have seen in it is pretty good. This wasn't that expensive in terms of price. Oh, my keyboard. No, that's gone. My mouse. Oh my God, I'm showing you things. Okay, there is not a lot of magic here. As you know, there's a computer over there. There's lights over here. There's a mic over there. There's like 2 camcorders. There's actually a third, but it's not on because I don't need it. Don't forget I have my meeples of might, so they might protect me. I am working in a space that's probably about 30 by 30 or 36 by 30, so what looks really big is not really, and I'm just shrunk here. Help, help. But that is for today's episode. It meant to be breakneck. I bought it, so we've got some deck builders, we've got some exploration and tech building, we've got Steampunk Rally Race, we've got some Cthulhu,
How did H.P. Lovecraft pronounce this word? Well, the short answer is Kalol
Got Ravenloft, we've got space games, we've got a Cerebrium, a brain game. Woo! Anyway, guys, this has been an absolute blast. Catch you on the flip side. Probably there won't be a video till Monday or Tuesday next week. It is Coffee and Kickstarter on Tuesday always. I should say there's probably going to be a week or two that I may or may not be putting up videos. It is for health reasons. I go under the knife. Nothing major, but I probably will have to recover. So whether I'll be able to do videos or not, I can't tell you until we get there. We'll see whether or not I can do something. If not, I could just sit down and splurt out something for Coffee and Kickstarter, maybe during that period. But I will let you know. Anyway, this is Harry Jacobs. I am the North of 60 Gamer. This is the North of 60 Gaming channel. If you like what you saw, actually it'll be over here. Over here, maybe. Hit the subscribe button. Or hit the like button, actually. If you like to subscribe, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications of ramblings from an old guy, hey, hit notifications. This is North of 60. I do live north of 60. I am in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories, Canada. If you don't know where that is, Google is your friend. With that, I am out of here. Goodbye.